Okay, continue to do what you do, but don't call it Gonstead and confuse the world. For those that don't know, this is not, all capitals, Gonstead Chiropractic. Hey everyone, Dr. Todd from Gonstead Spine and Wellness, and I'm going to make sure I be very clear with my messaging because I realized I may have been misleading people, and I apologize. I'm sorry for misleading the public as to what Gonstead Chiropractic is. So I'm making this video so that I can always refer back to this video if I'm ever accused of this again. But I'll try harder next time. So first off, before we get started on this video, and you're gonna wanna watch this one, make sure you've subscribed to our channel and like, share, do all the stuff you need to do with this video. It's gonna be a good one. And comment below, let me know what you think, even if they're controversial comments. As you see with the other videos, comment. I will respond. I will respond personally. I don't make these videos for me, I make these videos for you, for the patient and for the chiropractor. We serve two audiences. Patients, you'll see our info below on how you can come in and get checked in our awesome clinic out here in Meridian, Idaho. And chiropractors. We help teach chiropractors how to put corrective exercise and functional movement into their chiropractic practice. And that is not Gonstead, to be very clear. All right, so how did this happen? We made a video a couple weeks ago on a traction training that we did in our clinic. So traction is spine remodeling traction. I'm gonna grab this spine over here and I'll show you. So this spine, there's certain curves you're supposed to have. You're supposed to have a forward curve in the low back, backward curve in the mid back, forward curve in the neck. And if you don't have these curves, what are your options? Well, the way that we were taught in standard chiropractic work was we adjust the individual segments of the spine. And if the curve comes back, great. And if not, too bad, so sad. We know that a lack of curve in some of these crucial areas is correlated with increased rate of spinal degeneration, decreased health outcomes, even a reduced life expectancy. So it's something that we take very seriously with the fact that if there's a way to fix this, should it be fixed? And who does it? Should we send them to a physical therapist? Should we send them to an orthopedic surgeon? Or should we as a chiropractor, the one that understands spinal biomechanics the best, should we be the ones that manage someone's care in order to restore healthy curves, to restore health, and to support the integrity of the segmental adjustment? So, where was I? Oh yeah, we did this training video on traction and I shared it with the world, and we were showing how we do traction in the clinic, how we use types of machines to very carefully and specifically, guided by x-ray coordinates, increase or decrease in some cases the curves of the spine to get someone into the healthiest position possible. That is a technique called chiropractic biophysics. It is not Gonstead. Gonstead is the individual adjusting of the segments, the case management of someone's spine, case management of their care. Dr. Clarence Gonstead started this back in 1923, built the world's largest chiropractic clinic in Mount Horeb, Wisconsin. And there's seminar systems that teach the work. It's amazing work, it's very specific, it's great, but it has its limitations depending on what you want to do as a practitioner or what you want to get out of healthcare as a patient. For myself personally, I practiced since 2003. I've evolved as a practitioner. I have different desires now in practice than what I did when I first started practicing. I know more now than what I did when I first started practicing. And so we make these YouTube videos and we go through, and our clinic's called Gonstead Spine and Wellness. My shirt says that. We have a big old mural up in our clinic, to which I had a chiropractor last week tell me I have to take it down because I do other things besides Gonstead, which I'm gonna read his comments and my response, because I think this is good for not only patients to see, but other chiropractors to see. And then I'm curious from a patient perspective, if you could weigh in on your opinion on what you're looking for, what you value as a patient. So anyway, we went through a traction training. We were showing this chiropractic biophysics technique as far as how we do traction. And we had this chiropractor that does Gonstead. I'm sure he's a great chiropractor. And he got on as what I call the Gonstead police. Now I know the Gonstead police very well because I used to be a sheriff deputy in the Gonstead police back in the day. And I'm not anymore because I think a little differently now. So what does that mean? Let me grab my phone and I'll tell you. What that means is that when we are in chiropractic school, there's various technique clubs. I was the president of the Gonstead Club. I started chiropractic school back in 2000, and I led the Gonstead Club for almost my entire time in chiropractic school. I handed it off to a friend of mine at the time that also took it over and has a Gonstead clinic as well. And so I went to all these Gonstead seminars. We learned from the doctors that practiced with Dr. Gonstead, and we were told to keep the work pure, okay? And as I got into practice year after year, practicing the Gonstead method, I learned what I was able to do predictably for our patients, what kind of changes we can make, what kind of great results we could achieve. But I also started to see the limitations of what we weren't able to handle. And my mindset was, well, all I'm doing is adjusting. That's what I do. They can go somewhere else if they want something else. If they want to learn how to do an exercise, go somewhere else. If they want to now learn curve correction and how to improve their posture, go somewhere else. So I was rolling the dice. I was gambling that they would go somewhere else and they would get quality care, specific care by a practitioner that agreed with and supported the excellence in specific Gonstead chiropractic work. So I very naively thought that the patient was gonna go somewhere and get good quality care, right? I try to build relationships with other practitioners, other PTs, other personal trainers, etc. And it always backfired. And I got to the point where not only were the results not predictable, but I would lose the patients because the patients would go, they had this low back tightness, I'd be adjusting their spine, we'd be working on the joint so perfectly, and then they would learn a stretch from the physical therapist, and they would get a little more relief, and they would say, aha, that guy or that gal is a genius, I'm gonna stick with them. Now, meanwhile, that physical therapist, are they trained in chiropractic philosophy or understanding what chiropractic does, or spinal biomechanics, or looking at x-ray? No. So some of them would badmouth us as chiropractors. Then the patient would jump ship and we'd say, oh, the patient didn't get it, or we should have educated them better, or whatever. The fact is, we put them outside of our realm, we threw them back into the world, and that's what happened. And that's what happens. And so if you as a chiropractor don't want to admit that that's what's happening, you might have your hands over your ears or your hands over your eyes, and you're just ignoring that this actually does happen. And if you're a patient out there, what would you rather do? Would you rather have to hunt for answers, or would you rather go somewhere where it's all under one roof and you have the chiropractor that you know and love, that you're trusting in managing your care accordingly? Wouldn't you love for that person to be able to take this on and manage and prescribe and put everything together for your care so it's all handled in one place, under one roof? Right? Tons of our patients that come into our clinic seek us out for that reason. They come in, maybe even moving in from other states, from other Gonstead chiropractors in other states. They come in our clinic, and the talk that I have with them is I say, Mr. Jones, I know you've been seeing this other excellent Gonstead chiropractor for the last several years. They've taken great care of you, I'm sure. You can get almost identical care here if that's what you like. Something that you'll notice is in our clinic, we do a couple other things as well. We do this technique called chiropractic biophysics, which aims to restore healthy posture, healthy curves of the spine, so that the segmental or the individual bones can actually stay in better alignment longer. And we can achieve things with that we can't do with the adjustment alone. They work hand in hand very well. And we also measure and fix abnormal movement patterns. So we fix movement because oftentimes we found abnormal movements is what hurts someone in the first place. And you said in your history, Mr. Jones, that you bent over to pick something up and you hurt yourself, or you were working out in the gym and you hurt yourself. So it looks like that could be true for you as well. Well, something you'll have an opportunity to do, Mr. Jones, is you can choose for us to take care of you just like you were taken care of by your other Gonstead chiropractor, or if you want us to implement some of these other methods, if you're a candidate for that, we can do that as well. Now, I'll tell you, side note or question, let me ask you a question. Do you think these patients that I present it to like that, and they see how we look things over, do you think that they say, nope, I just want to get an adjustment. I don't want any of that curve correction. I don't want any of that functional movement correction. I'll tell you, every once in a while we have someone like that, and we honor that and we make them feel comfortable. And so feel free, fellow Gonstead chiropractors, feel free to refer out-of-state patients to us. We'll take great care of them. But I'll tell you that the vast majority of them, they want more. They then get better results. They give feedback saying, oh my gosh, I haven't functioned or felt this good in years. And we're achieving things with them that they never did before. They didn't know was possible. And then they ask me the question, they say, why don't more chiropractors do this? And my answer is, well, they probably just don't know, right? Because back in the day, I think back to me, I didn't know. 8, 9 years in practice, I did straight adjusting until I found chiropractic biophysics. I did chiropractic biophysics combined with Gonstead, got better results, realized something was missing, functional movement. We then built systems for functional movement. We have a program where we teach other chiropractors how to do this. We have almost a couple hundred clinics that we work with as far as sharing these systems of how to program out exercise, how to measure accordingly, how to integrate this within chiropractic. So before I go too long on this, let me go through and just read one of the comments that I got from this chiropractor. So he says, dude, don't call it Gonstead and get his picture off your wall. You're confusing people and an embarrassment to the Clarence Gonstead name. Yeah, that's not very nice. All right, it's funny how behind a keyboard, people just use those keyboards as weapons, right? They're just very, very brave behind keyboards. So this is what I wrote back to this fellow Gonstead chiropractor, mind you, who is leaving these comments here. I wrote, this is a video highlighting traction, which is clearly not the Gonstead method, and that is clarified in many of our videos. We have several Gonstead workup and adjusting videos that demonstrate the Gonstead work, how it's taught and understood. I remember when I was 8 years into practice, I would have made the same comments as you as well, so I can't blame you. It's true. I used to be part of the Gonstead police too until I expanded my horizons and I realized that Gonstead is excellent, but it is not the only thing depending on what kind of practitioner we want to be. And I don't think I'm falsely advertising that we do Gonstead when we do strict Gonstead for spinal analysis and adjusting. We mark our x-rays, we take full spine films, we have changing rooms, our patients put on gowns, we check them with an instrument, we palpate. I mean, we're adjusting seated cervicals without twisting, without rotation. We're following all of this stuff, I would say, probably better than most Gonstead chiropractors out there that claim to be Gonstead chiropractors that are only doing adjusting. Okay, so I'm bullet pointing my response to this chiropractor. So I put number 4, would you tell someone who practices Gonstead and proudly displays this, who also uses functional medicine to help their patients, that they must hide all their Gonstead paraphernalia? Or are we all relegated to practice as they did in the 1960s for fear of confusing people? Because he's accusing me of confusing the public. You want to get a high quality Gonstead analysis and adjustment and be properly taught how to manage and prevent degeneration of your spine and achieve abundant overall health, all with natural principles supported and congruent with traditional chiropractic teachings, then come see us. If you want to go to a clinic that bows to the Gonstead police, laws frozen in 1960 times, there's many out there that are happy to perpetuate the falsehood that the adjustment alone, no matter how specific, is going to solve everything under the sun. Then I shared, when I presented chiropractic biophysics technique at the Gonstead Clinical Study Society meeting of the minds in 2012, half of the audience had an attitude like you, and the other half was extremely receptive. So Gonstead Clinical Study Society is a group within Gonstead. They have a meeting every single year, and you have to have been in practice for several years to attend. You have to be a Gonstead diplomate, a fellow, which are different levels of achievement within the work. And you can attend, and there's various speakers, and sometimes the information they talk about maybe is a little controversial. Well, I was invited to present chiropractic biophysics. I spoke for 2 hours in front of a bunch of chiropractors, showed them pre and post x-ray, explained how we integrate this with specific Gonstead care. And like I said, half the doctors afterwards thought it was amazing. The other half argued with me, said, you're ruining the work, you're doing this, and stop doing that, don't call it Gonstead. And I said, hey, look, I'm not calling it Gonstead. I do my Gonstead adjusting and analysis, and clearly I pay tribute and I pay credit where it's due. Chiropractic biophysics is the other technique doing the curve correction. And those together are very powerful for patient results. That's what I care about, is patient results. I don't care about staying true to one name or another for the sake of, I don't know, just maintaining something how it was like in the 1960s forever. So anyway, an interesting conversation that I had with the actual x-ray tech that worked at the Gonstead clinic for, I think, decades, it's probably safe to say. She's pictured in this very famous Gonstead book that all us Gonstead doctors refer to as the chapters. She's the one actually positioning the patient for x-ray. She came up to me afterwards, had a really interesting conversation, and she said, I think what you presented is great, and I think if Dr. Gonstead was still alive today, he would be doing this, because routinely with patients, he would recommend that patients roll up a towel and put it behind their neck if they wanted to increase the curve in their neck. Now that's a very rudimentary way of attempting curve correction, and we know that that's not a very predictable, consistent, or aggressive way to increase the curve in the neck. There's better ways to do that. Chiropractic biophysics figured it out, and that's why we're doing something that is predictable and evidence-based. There's lots of research in chiropractic biophysics showing these predictable types of outcomes. So anyway, I wrote that back to him. And And I said many mirrored these sentiments, the same as Gonstead's X-ray tech. And I said, time to evolve, the videos will keep rolling. Videos like this, where we educate the public and we reach out to chiropractors out there. Hopefully there's seasoned Gonstead chiropractors that are watching this, and this might rattle you a little bit, and this might make you think, oh my gosh, I should probably look into this a little bit more. Well, check out Chiropractic Biophysics, and the thing that we teach is the functional movement stuff. Check out movenowu.com, Move Now University. Reach out to me, I'll show you how we practice. We have chiropractors fly out here all the time to see what we do in our clinic. That's the main purpose of this video, is to admit maybe I wasn't as clear as I could have been in previous videos. And I'm gonna make sure that I make this disclaimer at every single video in the beginning to say, we do 3 different systems. The Gonstead part is this. Here's the other stuff. Here's why we do it briefly, just so that the public or other chiropractors know very clearly what we do. So thank you, Dr. Gonstead, please, for reaching out to me and telling me that, because I will take what you told me to heart and I will make those changes. But I'm in no way apologetic for the fact that we do this work. We're not taking Dr. Gonstead mural off our wall. We're not changing the name of our clinic. We will continue to educate the public that Gonstead Spine and Wellness stands for something that I truly feel is the future, the evolution of the best chiropractic care possible. So it's not just a snazzy tagline in our clinic. It's why we do what we do. When it comes to the health of you and your family, results matter most. Not dogma, not staying frozen in time in the 1960s, but results. So reach out if you need some more information. We'll see you on the next video.